Hello everyone and welcome to a very boring video. Yes, there's nothing going on up in old 60 goat. Yeah. Old 64 goat territory. Nothing at all. All I can do is go back to old stuff. Well, these are very old here. These are very old voice recorders. I'm going to say around 2000 that I've had these. Unfortunately, the batteries are dead. It takes 4 little button batteries, which would cost you more for the 4 batteries than what these things cost. These are very cheap in the stores. I have no idea where I bought these. But for the longest time, I had a recording on it as of maybe 10 years ago. It was on one of these, there was a recording of Lee Moore on here that I got from the radio. That I had in the car, the tape playing in the car, and these only record for 20 seconds, but surprisingly good sound quality. And I went to try them out today, and the button were left on to record mode. Both of these were slid up like this, and so obviously the batteries are stone dead. So I doubt, I'm not sure how these things work, whether the memory is retained as long as the batteries are on, or whether the memory is on whatever the recording media is in these things. Probably an SD card or something, I don't know. But what we're going to do here is to pop off the battery compartment. And of course, this takes a microscope to see. When I got these, the batteries were in them. And basically what the instructions are telling you here, which you probably should be able to read. In order to record, you got to slide the switch to the record position. And then you start speaking into the microphone. Well, when I pull this out of the drawer of my miscellaneous stuff that I keep in the bedroom cabinet, both of these switches were already up into the record position right here. So the damage is already done, I guess. So it probably was recorded over. So what I want to do here, and I don't know if I can do it, each button battery, from what I understand, should be 1.5 volts or 1.2 volts. I really don't know. I think they're 1.5 volts. So that would be 6 volts. Now, if I can take my power supply or a battery, I think I have a battery in the shop here that may have 6 volts on it. I haven't charged it in a while. And we'll try to somehow make connection here on this and see what we get. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it into the standby position, and it's telling you here, in order to play it back, you put it into the standby position, then push reset, then press playback. Okay, which get you in camera here, right here. Here's the reset here, and then playback. Okay, normally the red light would be on right here, but the batteries are dead. So let me get you back a little bit, because I can't work like this. I'm about maybe 4 to 5 inches away from the camera lens, and I got to get the camera out of the way. I cannot work looking at the viewfinder. I gotta be in here with my head right on top of this. So we'll get these batteries out. We'll be right back. Okay. No idea how successful I'll be. Am I in camera? I guess so. I break things trying to get things out. I can't work with this small stuff because I crack cases all the time. I might have to take out these screws in order to remove the batteries. I shouldn't have to, but there we go, all over the floor. And now I don't know what's positive and what's negative. Wait a minute now. Can't see that. All right, the buttons go that way. Okay. Let's see what these are here. Batteries are no good anyway, so it don't matter if they went all over the floor. I can't read that. Let me see if I can read the other one here. Way too small, need a microscope to read this, and I'm using reading glasses and this magnifier here. I cannot read that. That's impossible to read. That's impossible to read. Let me, I can't even see the viewfinder. I'm on a wicked angle. Got to turn it around so I can get this in there. Let's see. I cannot see that, even on the viewfinder. All right, so enough of that. Let's stop wasting time here. Let's see. I don't know what the positive is. We're going to take our meter here, and maybe we get a little bit of life out of the battery, and it might tell me what the positive is. Usually the button side's the negative and the body is positive. But don't quote me on that, because I'm probably wrong. .04 volts, so don't tell me much. I'm going to have to stop this camera. I got to get a microscope or something to look at this. Okay, the positive is this part here, and the button is the negative. Okay, so the buttons all went... Am I in camera? Buttons are that way, so the positive is over here. Okay, so... The only thing I can say is... Let me just turn my voltmeter off here. I'm going to hope I'm in camera view because I'm on a bad angle again. I'm going to have to hold it in, and that's not going to be easy. Curious to find out if there's any recordings that were retained, or were they all recorded over with by leaving the switch in the record position. I didn't remember doing that, but obviously I must have, because years ago, at least 10 years ago, when I had to go in the drawer to get something, I got a bunch of stuff in that drawer. I got a 2-inch leather case television in mint condition. I bought brand new and used it very little, which is in that drawer. I don't think I've ever put it on video. And analog audio mixing, a little mixing board I used to use for VHS tapes when I made tapes for my cousins and stuff, and added sound effects. I have a sound effects generator in there, a simple analog sound effects generator, and all kinds of cables and adapters and AA batteries that are not leaking but old, and a whole drawer full of stuff. And I'd go in there and I'd push the play button every once in a while, and I'd have my, I'd hear that recording, and I thought at that time it was about 15 years ago. Now it's been 25 years now since I had these things, and now the batteries are dead. So I used to just push this play button, and hey, it still works, but dead now. With the batteries in it, of course, it was dead. And the other one's the same way, the batteries are still in it. So let's try to get some connection here. I doubt it, but let me work on this. I got to do this off camera. Okay, I got a little noise out of it. I've got 5 exactly 6 volts coming from my power supply. It's very hard to get this in there. But I did hear a little playback here, so let's see if we can get it to work. If I can only get these clips to stay on. This one, the red one, keeps popping off. The negative I gotta hold on. So let me reach over. I gotta push the play button here. That was me singing with Lee Moore on the radio, driving along. All right, let's start it again. You reached a letter from me. All right. Well, the recording stayed on there. You have to push the reset button and then the play. So even though this was left up into the record mode, still works. So I thought I'd just show you these. I mean, I got nothing to show to anybody these days. There's nothing going on these days. Anyways, let's get the batteries out of the other one and let's see if we got anything on that. If I can get this cover on there. It took me quite a while. There it is. Okay, so we got the batteries out of that one. Now let's get the batteries out of this one and watch them fly all over. Before I do, let me just roll the batteries around. That's what I usually do with AA's and AAA's into something. Sometimes just rolling the battery in the holder cleans the contacts a little bit so that you get a better connection, and sometimes it works. I've done it with these little flashlights. They start flickering, and it's worth a try, but these are probably dead anyhow. So this is in standby, which you want. You push the reset, then we push play. Nothing. All right. Let's watch these things go flying all over. Man, they're not easy to get out. When things are button batteries like this, I usually throw the whole unit out because it just costs you more to replace them, and they're virtually impossible to get out without breaking things. All right, so 1 flew on the floor, and 3 were saved. Let's see what we got for contacts in here. They look clean. So let's get the 6 volts on here. All right, we got the positive on here. We got my finger on the reset, which we got to have ready to go when we get the power on. That didn't sound too good. Well, let's try it again. I can't go by feel. I gotta look. Little Tommy. Somebody's birthday. It wasn't Tommy's. Well, it's amazing. It was worth making this video just to bring these out. It's amazing. Years ago you used to be able to buy these things, and I'm going to say probably around 2000. You used to buy these little, it's a memo. It's called a memo mate. And you go to the store, and before you leave the house, you say, "Well, get a loaf of bread, or pickled toad's feet, or snails in the shell, or something like that." And so when you go in the store, you play it back, and that way you remind yourself. I used to use them to remind myself where I parked my car, because I never remember where I parked my car. So I'd play it back and say, where the hell did I park my car? And especially with the minivan now that we got, it looks the same as every other car. When I had my 63 Ford Galaxy, of course they didn't have things back then like this. I could spot that a mile away, just like the 90 Ford Econoline. I could have no problem finding that in the parking lot. So yeah, these things were relatively cheap, probably around $5 or so. So it's amazing that I held the recordings all these years. So I guess, let me turn my power supply off. I guess that, I don't know what they call it, volatile memory, a non-volatile memory, I don't know. These are terms I heard, but I can't remember them. You got to remember I'm illiterate when it comes to this stuff. So I guess it's like an SD card in a camera. You put something on the SD card, and if the camera craps to bed or the battery dies, well, the information is still on the card. So this probably is the same thing, except that the memory is probably embedded in a chip that's on the board, which cannot be removed. So that's what this video is about, folks. Nothing much. Figured I'd just throw this out there for what it's worth. The button batteries are, there's another one on the floor here. So that's 2, 4, 6. I got 2 more on the floor here somewhere. No worries. We'll just throw them in the recycle. Actually, the recycle don't want to take batteries. They tell you to throw them in the trash. Well, I throw them in the recycle. Because years ago, they used to tell you to put all your used batteries, AA's, AAA's, whatever they are, in a plastic bag and set them outside the recycle bin. The recycle company will pick them up. Well, now, quite a number of years now, they tell you to just throw them in the trash. And so, I don't know, it don't make sense because these things contain mercury. Don't ask me, but Home Depot takes them too. But a couple years ago, I had a bag full, probably about 100, AA's, AAA's, and a few D cells, a few C cells in a bag, and they wouldn't take them because they wanted each individual battery, each cell, wrapped in a plastic. You think I'm going to take the time to do that? I told them, no way. No way I'm wrapping each one. I had it all together. I had to argue, and I was about ready to just throw it out there in the trash. They said, okay, we'll take it this time. That was a couple years ago at Home Depot. So I just throw them in the recycle, and that's the end of that. Okay, so I thought I'd throw this video out. I'm just going through some of my old things that, found another battery, that I have in the drawer and stuff like that. Because there isn't much going on here these days, folks. Thanks for watching. You take care. Have a good day.